Torres is too fat to fight. That's what Sergeant Davis said, looking at Mike Torres like he was a walking medical emergency. July 2018. Syria Deployment Briefing. Sergeant Mike Torres, 28 years old, Army Infantry, 8 years of service, and 280 pounds. Clinically obese. BMI 40.2, 5'10", and carrying 100 pounds more than he should. The platoon looked at him and saw one thing: a liability. Torres can't run. Torres can't fit in the Humvee properly. Torres is going to have a heart attack his first firefight. For 8 months, they mocked him every single day. But 8 months later, Mike Torres walked off that plane weighing 180 pounds. 100 pounds lighter, lean, muscular, transformed, and with 79 ISIS fighters dead by his hand. The platoon that called him too fat to fight stood there in shock, because combat had melted Mike Torres into the deadliest operator in the battalion. This is the story of Sergeant Mike Torres, the soldier they mocked for being obese, the soldier who lost 100 pounds in combat, the soldier who proved that determination burns hotter than any fire, and that you should never underestimate a man with something to prove. January 2018. Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Sergeant Mike Torres stood at morning formation, 280 pounds packed onto a 5'10" frame. His body armor barely fit, the straps strained, his uniform pulled tight across his belly. The platoon noticed. They always noticed. Jesus Christ, Torres, you get bigger every week. How much do you weigh now, Torres? 280? 290. Fat Torres can't even see his own boots over that gut. Mike stood there, taking it, like he had for 3 years. Because Mike Torres had always been heavy, even in high school. The big kid, the fat friend, the one who struggled with weight his entire life. He'd joined the Army at 20, hoping military discipline would fix him. It didn't. 8 years later, at 28, Mike was the heaviest he'd ever been, 280 pounds, clinically obese, and the Army was losing patience. The battalion medical officer called Mike in for evaluation. Sergeant Torres, your weight is a problem. You're at 280 pounds. BMI 40.2. That's class 3 obesity. I know, sir. I'm working on it. You've been working on it for 3 years. It's getting worse, not better. You passed your height/weight tape test on a waiver. But medically, you're a risk. High blood pressure, elevated cholesterol. You're a heart attack waiting to happen. If we deploy you to Syria, 130-degree heat, full combat gear, you could die. Not from enemy fire, from your own body giving out. Mike's jaw tightened. Sir, I can do my job. I've done it for 8 years. At 220 pounds, yes, but not at 280. Torres, I'm recommending you stay stateside. Rear duty only. No deployment. Mike's heart sank. Sir, please. My unit is deploying. I can't let them go without me. You're a medical liability. Decisions made. But Mike's commander overruled the medical officer. Torres stays with his unit. He passed the waiver. He deploys. The medical officer shook his head. On your head, sir. When Torres has a heart attack in 130-degree heat, don't say I didn't warn you. Mike was deploying to Syria, but the mockery was about to get so much worse. February-June 2018. PRE deployment training. The platoon trained for Syria. Desert conditions, heat, heavy gear, endurance. Mike struggled badly. 5-mile run. The platoon ran 5 miles in full gear. Standard training. Mike finished dead last, wheezing, sweating through his uniform, face red, hands on knees. Torres finished. Congratulations, Fat Torres. Only took you an hour. The rest of us finished 30 minutes ago. We could have eaten lunch waiting for you. Torres, you're gonna die in Syria. That waddle isn't gonna work in combat. Mike tried to climb over the wall. Couldn't pull his 280-pound body up. Torres is stuck. Someone get a crane. Fat Torres can't even climb a wall. What's he gonna do when he needs to climb into a Humvee fast? This is embarrassing. How is this guy deploying with us? 20 miles. Full combat gear. 60-pound pack. Mike's pack straps dug into his shoulders. His knees ached. His back screamed. He finished. But 6 hours later, the platoon finished in 4. Torres took 6 hours for 20 miles. In combat, he'd be dead in 2. I'm not serving with Torres in Syria. He'll slow us down and get us killed. Fat liability. That's what he is. A 280-pound liability. During vehicle training, Mike tried to climb into the Humvee. His gear got stuck. His body barely fit in the seat. He took up more space than he should. The driver, Torres, you're crushing me. Can you squeeze over? I'm trying. Jesus Christ, Torres, you take up 2 seats. How are we supposed to fit 5 soldiers in here with you? This is ridiculous. Torres needs his own vehicle, the Fat Mobile. The entire platoon laughed. Mike sat there, red-faced, humiliated. Again, Sergeant Davis led the mockery. Every day, without mercy. Morning, Fat Torres. Sleep well? Or did you eat the bed? Torres, when's the baby due? You're carrying it pretty low. Torres's body armor doesn't fit. We tried the large. We tried the extra large. Nothing fits. Know why? Because Torres isn't extra large. He's extra large. The platoon laughed. Every time, Mike took it, silently, because deep down he was terrified they were right. What if he did have a heart attack in Syria? What if he did get someone killed because he was too slow? What if he was too fat to fight? 1 week before deployment. Final briefing. Sergeant Davis stood in front of the platoon, looked at Mike. Men, we're deploying to Syria. 130-degree heat. ISIS fighters. Heavy combat expected. I need to know, can I count on every soldier here? His eyes landed on Mike. Or do we have any liabilities I should know about? The platoon went silent. Everyone looked at Mike. Mike stood up. Sergeant, I can do my job. Can you, Torres? Because you couldn't finish the 5-mile run. Couldn't climb the obstacle wall. Took 6 hours for a 20-mile march. How are you going to fight in 130-degree heat carrying 60 pounds of gear when you're already carrying 100 pounds of extra weight? I'll do it, Sergeant. I'll prove it. Davis laughed. Torres, you've been proving it for 8 years. You've only gotten fatter. Syria is gonna melt you. And I just hope you don't melt before you get us all killed. The platoon laughed nervously. Mike sat down, humiliated. Again. But something changed in him that day. A fire lit inside Mike Torres. A determination he'd never felt before. I'll show them. All of them. I'll prove I can fight. And I'll lose this weight if it kills me. July 2018. Syria. Day 1. The platoon deployed to Syria. FOB, Forward Operating Base, in the desert. 130-degree heat. Mike stepped off the plane. The heat hit him like a physical wall. Within 10 minutes, he was drenched in sweat. Torres is already dying. We've been here 10 minutes. Fat Torres isn't gonna last a week in this heat. I'm taking bets. How long before Torres has a heat stroke? I give him 3 days. But something unexpected happened. The 130-degree heat, the constant operations, the full combat gear, the stress, the adrenaline. It started melting Mike Torres. The platoon conducted daily patrols. 10 hours in 130-degree heat. Full gear. Constant movement. Mike struggled. Badly. Wheezing. Sweating. Exhausted. But he pushed. Refused to quit. Refused to prove them right. By week 1's end, Mike stepped on the scale. 278 pounds. He'd lost 2 pounds in 1 week. Mike stared at the number. 2 pounds didn't sound like much, but it was a start. The operations intensified. 12-hour patrols, heavy gear, firefights, constant stress. Mike's body was burning calories like a furnace. 130-degree heat, 60-pound gear, combat adrenaline, barely any food, MREs, limited portions. Constant dehydration, sweating gallons daily. Mike was eating 2,000 calories a day, but burning 5,000. His body started consuming itself. By month one's end, 260 pounds. 20 pounds lost in 1 month. The platoon noticed. Torres, you're getting smaller. Fat Torres isn't as fat anymore. He's just regular Torres. Mike smiled. For the first time in years, the combat intensified. ISIS firefights. 3 major engagements. Mike fought in all 3. Killed his first ISIS fighter, then his second, then 5 more. 7 ISIS killed. Month 2. And the weight kept falling off. The heat, the combat, the stress, the constant movement. Mike's body was transforming. Fat melting away. Muscle building underneath. By month 2's end, 240 pounds. 40 pounds lost total. The mockery started changing. Torres, you're looking different. He's not wheezing as much anymore. Fat Torres is becoming less Fat Torres. Sergeant Davis noticed, but didn't admit he was impressed. Torres, you've lost weight. Good. Maybe you won't have that heart attack after all. Mike nodded, but inside he was on fire. I'm not stopping. I'm proving them all wrong. Mike was unrecognizable from the soldier who deployed. 220 pounds. 60 pounds lost. In 3 months. His body armor fit properly now. His uniform hung loose. His face was gaunt but strong. And he was fast. The fat that slowed him down was gone. He ran faster, climbed easier, fought harder. 19 more ISIS killed. Month 3. Total, 26 ISIS dead. By the fat soldier. The platoon stopped mocking and started respecting. Torres is keeping up now. He's not the slowest anymore. He's in the middle of the pack. Torres killed for ISIS yesterday. 4. Fat Torres is a fighter, 200 pounds. 80 pounds lost. Mike was no longer obese. He was fit. The transformation was shocking. The 280-pound soldier was gone. In his place stood a lean, muscular warrior. Torres, you look like a completely different person. I wouldn't have recognized you if I didn't know it was you. Fat Torres? More like lean Torres now. 22 more ISIS killed. Month 4. Total, 48 ISIS dead. Mike Torres was becoming the deadliest operator in the platoon. 185 pounds. 95 pounds lost. Mike was ripped. Six-pack abs. Defined muscles. Chiseled face. The 280-pound fat soldier was a memory. Torres, you're jacked now. What happened to you? Combat melted you into a weapon. Torres, you're unstoppable. 19 more ISIS killed. Months 5 to 6. Total, 67 ISIS dead. Sergeant Davis approached Mike. December 2018. Torres, I owe you an apology. Mike turned. Sergeant, I called you fat. A liability. Said you'd get us killed. You've lost nearly 100 pounds. You've killed more ISIS than anyone in the platoon. I was wrong. You're not a liability. You're the best soldier I have. Mike shook his head. I'm still the same person, Sergeant. Just lighter. No, Torres. You're not the same. You're better. You proved everyone wrong, including me. But Mike wasn't done yet. February 15th, 2019. The mission that changed everything. Intelligence reported a major ISIS stronghold. 30 fighters. Dug in. Fortified. Mission: assault the compound. Eliminate ISIS. Capture leadership. 20 soldiers, including Mike Torres. Now 180 pounds. 100 pounds lighter than deployment. Sergeant Davis, Torres, you're on point. Lead the assault. The platoon stared. Torres? On point? The fat soldier leads the attack? Mike nodded. Yes, Sergeant. 0600 hours. Assault began. The platoon advanced on the compound. Mike led. Fast. Confident. Transformed. ISIS spotted them. Opened fire. And the 15-hour firefight began. ISIS had 30 fighters. Fortified positions. Automatic weapons. RPGs. The platoon assaulted. Mike led the charge. He was fast. The 280-pound Torres could never have done this. But the 180-pound Torres? He moved like lightning. ISIS fighters fell. Mike's rifle fired perfectly. 3 ISIS down in the first hour. The platoon fought hard, but ISIS was dug in. This was going to take all day. The firefight settled into a brutal stalemate. ISIS held the compound. The platoon surrounded it. Mike was everywhere, moving between positions, firing, directing, leading. For more ISIS killed. Hour 4 to 6. The heat was brutal. 130 degrees. Full gear. Constant fighting. But Mike? He was thriving. The fat soldier who couldn't run 5 miles? He'd been fighting for 6 hours straight. And he wasn't slowing down. Torres is a machine. He's been fighting for 6 hours, and he's not even winded. Where's the fat soldier who deployed with us? This can't be the same guy. The platoon pushed forward, building by building, room by room. Mike led every assault, first through every door, fastest on every corner. 5 more ISIS killed. Hours 7 to 10. 12 ISIS total for Mike. Halfway through the battle, Sergeant Davis watched in awe. Torres is outperforming everyone. The fat soldier is our best fighter. Dusk approached. ISIS made a final stand. 15 fighters remaining. Desperate. Suicidal. They charged the platoon. All at once. Suicide assault. The platoon opened fire. Chaos. Screaming. Grenades. Close combat. Mike stood his ground. Fired. Reloaded. Fired again. 3 more ISIS down. The assault lasted 30 minutes. Brutal. Desperate. Close range. When the dust settled, 12 ISIS dead. 3 surrendered. The platoon survived. Barely. The compound was clear. 30 ISIS. All dead or captured. The platoon counted kills. Davis 4 kills. Johnson 3 kills. Martinez 6 kills. Torres 12 kills. Everyone stopped. Torres? 12 kills? The most in the platoon? Sergeant Davis stared. Torres killed 12 ISIS today. 12. In 15 hours of fighting. The fat soldier we mocked 8 months ago just had the highest kill count of the deployment. The platoon stood silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then the entire platoon. Applauding Mike Torres, the fat soldier, who proved them all wrong. The platoon returned to base. Exhausted, Mike collapsed on his cot. Sergeant Davis sat beside him. Torres, 15 hours of fighting, 12 ISIS killed. You led the assault. You were the first through every door. 8 months ago, you couldn't run 5 miles. Today, you fought for 15 hours straight and outperformed everyone. How? Mike smiled weakly. I lost 100 pounds, Sergeant. Combat melted it off. And with every pound I lost, I got faster, stronger, better. You called me too fat to fight. You were right. I was too fat. But I'm not anymore. Davis shook his head. Torres, you didn't just lose weight. You became the best soldier in this platoon. I'm sorry for every fat joke, every insult, every doubt. You proved me wrong, completely. Mike extended his hand. Apology accepted, Sergeant. They shook, not as sergeant and subordinate, but as warriors, as equals. End of deployment. Final medical check. Mike stepped on the scale. 180 pounds. The medical officer stared. Torres, is that you? Yes, sir. You deployed at 280 pounds. You're returning at 180. You lost 100 pounds. Yes, sir. Combat melted it off. The medical officer checked Mike's vitals. Blood pressure, normal. Cholesterol, normal. Heart, healthy. Torres, you're in the best shape of your life. Medically, you're perfect. 8 months ago, I said you were a heart attack waiting to happen. I was wrong. You're healthier than most 20-year-olds. Mike smiled. Thank you, sir. The platoon boarded the plane back to Fort Campbell. Mike walked up the stairs. Lean, muscular, 180 pounds. A soldier behind him whispered, "Is that Torres? He looks completely different." Another, "That's the fat soldier? No way. That can't be him." Mike sat down. The seat felt huge. He used to barely fit. Now he had room to spare. Sergeant Davis sat beside him. "Torres, you're sitting in one seat now. You used to need two." Mike laughed. "Yeah, combat has benefits." The plane landed. The platoon disembarked. Families waited. Wives, kids, parents. Mike's wife, Jennifer, stood there, holding a sign, "Welcome home, Mike." She didn't recognize him at first. The man walking toward her was lean, muscular, fit. Her husband deployed at 280 pounds. This man was 180. "Mike," she gasped. "Hey, Jen." He hugged her. She pulled back, stared. "Mike, you look amazing." "What happened?" "Combat. 130-degree heat. Constant fighting. I lost 100 pounds. Jennifer started crying. Happy tears. "Mike, I'm so proud of you. You look incredible." The battalion held a ceremony honoring the platoon's deployment. Mike received Army Commendation Medal with Valor, 15-hour firefight, 12 ISIS killed, lead assault. Combat Infantry Badge, Active Combat Operations. Certificate of Achievement, most ISIS killed in platoon, 79 total. When they called his name, the battalion stood and applauded. For 5 minutes, the fat soldier, who transformed into the deadliest warrior. 8 months ago, I called Sergeant Torres too fat to fight. I said he was a liability, a medical emergency waiting to happen. I was wrong, completely, totally wrong. Torres deployed at 280 pounds. He returned at 180. He lost 100 pounds in combat. He killed 79 ISIS fighters, more than anyone in this battalion. He led a 15-hour firefight and had the highest kill count. Torres didn't just transform his body. He transformed into the best soldier I've ever served with. To everyone who mocked him, we were wrong. To Torres, you proved us all wrong. You're a legend. The battalion applauded again. Mike stood, saluted, humble, proud. After the ceremony, the medical officer approached Mike. "Torres, I recommended you stay home. Said you were too fat. A medical risk. You lost 100 pounds. Killed 79 enemies. Fought for 15 hours straight. You're the healthiest soldier in this battalion now. I'm sorry. I judged you by your weight, not your character, not your determination." Mike shook his hand. "You were right to be concerned, sir. I was too heavy. But combat fixed that." "Fixed it?" "Torres, combat transformed you. You're an inspiration." 2025. Sergeant First Class Mike Torres, 34 years old. Mike stayed in the Army, promoted twice. Now a fitness instructor at Fort Campbell. Weight, 185 pounds. Maintained for 6 years. He teaches physical training, combat fitness, weight loss. I teach soldiers one lesson. Your body is not your destiny. 6 years ago, I weighed 280 pounds, clinically obese. The platoon called me Fat Torres. A liability. They said I'd have a heart attack in Syria, that I'd get everyone killed. I deployed anyway, and combat melted me. 130-degree heat, constant fighting, heavy gear. I lost 100 pounds in 8 months. 280 to 180. And I killed 79 ISIS fighters while doing it. If I can lose 100 pounds in combat, you can lose yours in a gym. No excuses. You don't need war to transform. You need determination. His students listen, inspired. Many are overweight, struggling, doubting themselves. Mike shows them his before photo, 280 pounds, barely fitting his uniform. Then his after photo, 180 pounds, lean, ripped, transformed. Same person, 100 pounds lighter. If I can do it, anyone can. Davis retired 2020, still friends with Mike. Torres taught me the most important lesson of my career. Never judge potential by appearance. I saw a fat soldier. I called him a liability. But Torres had determination, and determination burns hotter than any fire. He lost 100 pounds, killed 79 enemies, became the best soldier I ever commanded. I was wrong, and I'll never make that mistake again. When Mike deployed, I was worried. He was 280 pounds, obese. I was scared for his health. When he came home, I didn't recognize him. 180 pounds. Lean. Muscular. Healthy. The man who left was struggling. The man who returned was a warrior. I'm so proud of him, not just for the weight loss, but for proving everyone wrong. Mike keeps two things framed on his wall. First, his deployment photo. 280 pounds. Struggling to fit in his body armor. Second, his return photo. 180 pounds. Lean. Strong. Transformed. Below them, a quote Mike wrote, "They called me too fat to fight. They said I'd have a heart attack. They said I was a liability. I lost 100 pounds in combat. I killed 79 ISIS fighters. I led a 15-hour firefight. Fat doesn't define you. Determination does. And I had more determination than all of them combined." Sergeant Mike Torres, too fat to fight, lost 100 pounds in 8 months of combat, killed 79 ISIS fighters. Because fire melts fat, they called him too fat, too slow, too weak. They said he'd die of a heart attack before he saw combat. But Mike Torres deployed anyway, and combat transformed him. 280 pounds, 180 pounds, 100 pounds lost. In 8 months, 79 ISIS fighters killed. Buy The Fat Soldier. Subscribe for more stories of soldiers who proved their bodies don't define their strength. And Mike Torres burned hotter than any fire.